I've got an insane XRP update. We are talking about insane. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things. A few things are Australia is going to roll out a digital dollar, and it's sounding like it could be on the XRP ledger. We also have Larry Fink asking the SEC to give okay to tokenize stocks, bonds, and of course derivatives will also be coming as well. And I got a bunch of other XRP news. We're going to talk about Binance Square talking about a $600 XRP coming up and several other things. So let's start here, right? Ripple does work with a number of central banks, and they are issuing their own central bank digital currency on the XRP ledger. Remember, any CBDC is going to be on a private ledger, okay? Those are wholesale CBDCs. Now, they can create public-facing CBDCs, retail CBDCs on the public XRP ledger, but normally these things would happen on a private ledger. So not, if you're out spending money with the CBDC, you don't want all your personal things tracked, right? So I'd imagine if they did do a retail CBDC, why wouldn't they do that on a private ledger too? But listen to this.
It does work with a number of central banks around the world. We publicly announced some of them. And we're in the phase of kind of testing, experimenting, and they're issuing their central bank issued digital currencies on the XRP ledger.
All right, so after you listen to this clip, I'm going to skip ahead real quick because I want to play this. Okay, so listen to this. This is breaking news. Australia's managing director of digital assets hints at XRP backing up the Australian dollar. The XRP ledger was already piloted back in the Aussie dollar. Okay, let me play this for you.
Is this digital dollar that they're issuing and doing this pilot with, is it actually a dollar like I know it?
Yes, yes.
So therefore it's worth 67 point blah-de-blah US cents right now.
Please keep in mind, this is Australia's news. When they say dollar, they're talking about the Australian dollar. They're not talking about the US dollar. I know a large part of my audience is from the United States, and I just don't want to get those two things mixed up, just so you know what we're dealing with here.
Precisely. You can think of it as exactly the dollar that you know today, but it's in a different form factor, a different technological format, which means that it can do things that the dollars we have today cannot do.
Okay, so what's the difference therefore between the digital currency that the Reserve Bank is rolling out and doing this pilot with and with what I'm doing right now? Because I don't use cash. So therefore, all of my transactions are digital. So surely our currency is already digital, is it not?
It is, but the exciting thing here is if it's on blockchain rails, it means that you can interact with the digital dollar and a digital asset using smart contracts. So computer code that says if this, then that. So imagine you can automate a whole lot of transactions that today you need an intermediary to be involved in.
So really quickly, just to go back and pause it here, his question was, I don't use cash. All of my account, my transactions are already digital. Is it not? The real answer to that question is, yes, those transactions are digital, but the settlement doesn't happen for days to come. Yes, you are paying for something in that moment, okay? And when you're paying for something, it queries the bank to see if you have the money. But the settlement of that money could take days, okay? And if we can speed up the settlement to go instantaneously, that unlocks $27 trillion that are kept up and hold up all across the world in different banks so they can actually move money with the old system. If banks could take all of that money back, think of the good that they could do in their respective neighborhoods.
Just give me a practical example of that. Would that be that I can transfer money directly to your account, immediately moving it there because the blockchain would know each of us on either side of that transaction?
That's right. There's a shared ledger. So all it has to do is update and say that Ross has just paid Sophie. So it just updates a line in a shared ledger. It's very efficient.
So that means, say, for example, payments to business could be one of the big advantages of this, where, we know how long it takes, in some cases, even government payments to go to small and medium-sized businesses. They could go immediately using these types of technologies.
They could go immediately if that's what you're looking for, or you could add conditions. So pay Ross, but pay him on Tuesday and only when a certain event has occurred.
Right, so that's okay. So then, given this pilot program is now rolling out, how long is it before businesses in Australia, before you and I can practically start to use this type of digital currency?
Well, I expect that the Reserve Bank will be careful and cautious. They will do a series of further experiments, and they'll want to know that they've got the design right. There's many ways that these things can be designed, and they need to get that right. So I think what's really important here is to do applied innovation to learn first and to get it right rather than to be first.
So who will be a part of this pilot program? Is it just the banks transacting with each other, or is there a broader audience that will be involved?
Listen
It's
closely.
much broader than that. So it's not just banks. There's also some fintechs and different organisations which are putting forward use cases. And in addition to that, we are getting customers to test because we want a broad segment of the community to give us feedback on what works and what can be improved.
Okay, but then we should note that this would be what's called a stable coin, isn't it? Because effectively it is a central bank digital currency, so therefore it is rock solid with the Aussie dollar.
That is correct. It is one for one with the Aussie dollar. It's just a new digital form of that. It's slightly different to a stable coin, but it is stable in value because it is backed by and an obligation of the Reserve Bank.
Listen, really quickly, I should have pulled this up, but I've been dealing with some immense pain. But AUD plus Novati, I might have spelled Novati wrong, plus XRP. Let me just, oops. I'm trying to pull up something else. I want to show you something here. Okay, here, yeah. So there's already a AUD stablecoin on the XRP ledger in Australia. I've done multiple videos about this. This actually, the clip I had above was the gentleman talking about it. AUDD is now live on the XRP ledger. So this has already been done. It's not been done as a central bank digital currency, but there is a stable Australian dollar already on the XRP ledger. So when they say they're working with fintechs, one wonders what fintechs are you working with, right? And I would be surprised if XRP is not one of the top contenders. Yes, there's others, HBAR, they could talk to Quant, they could talk to Stellar, but I think XRP might find its way, right? Because we know Japan, very bullish on XRP. We know the UK, very bullish on Ripple and XRP, as well as 30 other central banks that are talking with Ripple. They're all going to want to use the same system, okay? Yes, they can be interoperable, but central banks that do trade with each other are going to want to use the same type of system or have access to that system. I would be shocked if you don't see more information coming out about this, about the fintech partnership. Once we have that real definite information, I will tell you. All right, Ripple, shocking move, CBDC platform without XRP. Let me play this. So this Mikkel is kind of talking. There's a lot of people online right now that are talking about, since Republicans in the Trump administration are anti-CBDC, you've seen just a splurge of negative comments around Ripple and XRP, which is understandable, I guess, but we need to fix some of the things that people are, some of the issues that people are thinking
Ripple's
about.
new CBDC product has no direct need for XRP. Fact of the matter is we hear this stuff come up constantly. And every single time it comes up, Ripple later proves that they are 100% committed to the XRP ledger, and XRP is the beating heartbeat to everything they're doing. The first time we really heard this concern come up was when Ripple launched their payments platform, RippleNet. Ripple created a payments platform that was better than Swift. It was just a better centralized messaging database where companies could message each other for essentially payments that needed to take place. This is essentially what Swift does, but Ripple said, hey, we have better engineers, we have better software tech people, we can probably build a better messaging platform. So Ripple built that better messaging platform. Instantaneously, all the FUD was that Ripple didn't need XRP. XRP was just to fund RippleNet, and XRP in the equation was pretty much pointless. But what the FUDders failed to point out was that the product got exponentially better when you used XRP. You could message people with just RippleNet. You didn't need XRP, but you still had high fees because you were relying on the outdated rails of the banking system. You were also likely waiting 3 to 5 days for the payment to settle. So what people failed to take into account was that no, you didn't need XRP, but XRP made the product exponentially better. If you think Ripple is building products that don't ultimately tie back to the XRP ledger, you are absolutely insane. XRP is the beating heartbeat of everything Ripple's going to be doing going forward. Ripple knows this. Ripple knows XRP is the golden goose. But if they can't convince an institution to adopt XRP today, it makes absolutely no sense to push away that institution. What Ripple is going to do is build a trap that gives that institution what it wants now so they can ultimately get that institution using XRP later down the road.
This Mikkel, I really like what he does. I think he's got a Twitter. I think he's got a YouTube channel too. Go check him out. He does some pretty good work as well. And this is XRP Drop says Ripple is one of the 3 institutional gold members of the Digital Euro Association. Remember, they're creating a digital euro. I would imagine they're going to have a lot of conversation with Ripple, right? Christine Lagarde is the head of the European Central Bank. She used to be the head of the IMF. And so she knows all too well how, how incredible, the technology is that Ripple has to offer. Here is Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock. He is talking. He's said this now several times at Davos. You need to listen to this because this is where we are heading with cryptocurrency, right? The digitization of stocks, bonds, and derivatives. Listen.
But crypto is going to play a big role. Digitization of currency, digitization of everything we're doing. I'm a big believer, and this is one thing that will change Bloomberg even. I believe we're going to be
She's shocked.
in the cutting edge of tokenizing bonds and stocks. Coming. And we have the technology
It's coming.
now. The fact that we are not.
Listen to the guy next to Larry Fink. Listen, it's very faint what he says, but listen.
Coming. And we have the technology now tokenizing bonds and stocks.
Coming.
And we
It's
have
coming.
the technology now. The fact that we are now moving forward in tokenization, every bond and stock, is crazy. We should be moving towards that frontier. Obviously, there's winners and losers and all that, but we need to be prepared for the tokenization. And it would democratize more finance if we tokenized bonds and stocks.
Absolutely, right? This is not just a crazy theory. This is reality. You've had this information for a few years on my channel. I've been talking about this forever, right? Now you hear Larry Fink getting louder and louder with the digitization of financial assets. Where does that value live? Or how does that value transact? Those 2 questions are the only questions that I have, right? Because if that value starts to live on the XRP ledger, XLM, maybe some others, well, now you're having tens of trillions, hundreds of trillions of dollars coming onto those ledgers, and bam, now you have institutional adoption, and you will have not just a speculative price for XRP, but you'll have a utility price for it, and that's what we're waiting for. Excuse me. As someone who is from Eleanor Terrett, as someone who only really began observing the space in 2021, I've never seen this level of open warfare between coin communities, right? Bitcoin is attacking the XRP. People in the Bitcoin community are heavily attacking the XRP community because they know XRP is a better asset than Bitcoin. It is true. It is true beyond measurable doubt, right? Bitcoin is a form, like gold, right? It's a place to put value. That's all it is, right? You can't tokenize stocks, bonds, derivatives. You can't build central bank digital currency, right? You can't move money with Bitcoin at the levels bank do because it's going to cost so much money. Listen, Trump just signed his first executive crypto order, and here are some key points in that. So there's going to be a working group will be tasked with developing a federal regulatory framework governing digital assets, including stablecoins, and evaluating the creation of a strategic national digital asset stockpile. I wonder what happens when Trump realizes that Bitcoin isn't, in fact, an American crypto. We don't know who was behind creating the Bitcoin ledger. We don't know who has control over the 1 million Bitcoin in the Satoshi wallet, right? If that unlocks at any time, the panic in the market would be insane, right? Even if 1 or 2 Bitcoin were sold out of that wallet, people would panic. The working group will be chaired by the White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs and include the Secretary of Treasury and the Chairman of Securities and Exchange Commission. Exactly what we need, man. Listen, I don't agree with Donald Trump on everything that he does, but he so far he has been keeping up with his promises on the campaign trail, and I am very excited, and I am opening up my heart to seeing what Trump can do in his second term. I think, maybe we had some bumps in the first term. His second term, man, he could really do some incredible things. And I think he's starting to. So let's just see how that goes. The White House AI crypto czar will engage leading experts in digital assets and the digital markets to ensure that the actions of the working group are informed by expertise beyond the federal government. This is exactly what we want. We want the government talking with the heads of Coinbase, Ripple, any type of American crypto company. We want them talking to, because if they create some legislation that may harm the crypto industry, at least the experts can tell them, hey, this might not be a good idea. The executive order directs departments and agencies with identifying and making recommendations to the working group on any regulations and other agency actions affecting the digital asset sector that should be rescinded or modified, changing some of the bullshit the Biden administration put in place. Make no mistake, the Biden administration had an all-out war on the crypto industry. So they set some policies and they passed some laws that are bad for the crypto industry. And now we're talking about deleting, basically rescinding those orders. The executive order prohibits agencies from undertaking any action to establish, issue, or promote central bank digital currencies. Obviously, central bank digital currencies is a sore spot currently for the Trump administration. I don't know if they get past it. Okay, we might not have a CBDC for quite some time. I would imagine that it would make sense to create a wholesale CBDC that central banks and banks use. I guess they will start using FedNow more for that. The executive order revokes the previous administration's digital asset executive order and Treasury Department's framework for international engagement on digital assets, which suppressed innovation and undermined U.S. economic liberty and global leadership in the digital finance community. I love all of this, guys. This is a really good moving forward. Now, remember, anybody can basically post on Binance Square. This is not like fact or lore or whatever you want to call it. Ripple CEO confirmed that they are working closely with Musk and the partnership. Listen, if Elon Musk announces a partnership with Ripple and XRP, that would send XRP. I'd imagine that would send XRP into the hundreds. 600? I'd love that. Let's see it. Rosie Rios. Remember, Rosie Rios was the U.S. treasurer under Donald Trump. A lot of value, like 20% of bills during that time that were created were from her administration. And she's close with JD Vance and Donald Trump. She's on the board of Ripple. I wonder if that will help in any way, shape, or form. Also, Senator Cynthia Lummis, a pro-crypto advocate, has been appointed as the chair of the Senate Banking Committee. This is great news. She is more of a Bitcoin maxi, though, so we need to be careful about that. But listen, someone pro-crypto heading up the banking committee in the Senate, more power to us. The National Digital Asset Stockpile would prioritize digital coins founded in the United States. Remember, the U.S. might just declare that we're going to create a stockpile of all of the best U.S. tokens, right? Solana, Algorand, XRP, XLM. There's HBAR. There's probably a few I'm forgetting, but those are the majority of it. Also, too, here's Trump signing his executive order. I did a video about this. It should be out already.
There's dominance internationally. We can basically create a digital dollar that people all over the world will use. And then the third area that we're going to look at is we're evaluating this national stockpile for digital assets. We haven't created it yet, but we're going to study that issue.
Listen, I did a video that should be coming out today before this video, where it's a 6-minute interview with this gentleman here. You need to go back and watch that video. There's a lot of really cool information in it. I can't remember everything, but it's extremely bullish for the crypto industry. And please, if you've made it this far, please hit like on the video. Oh shit, we're 18 minutes in and I forgot to ask you to hit like. But if you're still here, that means you like the content. So please hit like. I love you. All roads lead to XRP, made in the USA, fast, reliable, low fees, eco-friendly, adopted by international banks and financial institutions, U.S. reserve digital currency, 8 pending XRP ETFs. I thought the number was 9. American Express announced this global payment partnership with Ripple. Guys, this goes back years. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, right? But, you know, American Express does run on Ripple. When I make my payments to American Express, they go instantly. They go really quickly. Anyways, guys, listen. A lot of really incredible things are happening right now. Please pay attention. Please understand that we are still in a speculation market, but all of this stuff that's happening right here can bring us to a utility market. So the next 4 or 5 years of your life, please dedicate time to learning, growing, and making good decisions in the crypto industry. Because if you do that, you can take whatever life you have now, and you can put yourself to whatever you want to do. Money doesn't fix every problem, but it sure helps you, have a place to live, have whatever car you want, be able to help your family, your friends, do charitable work, whatever it is. That can be the base of whatever life you want it to be. And it can all be yours if you make the right decisions. I'll see you next time. I've been Crypto Sensei. Aloha.